This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Yo, what's going on guys? Sam here, and the iPhone 11 models for 2019 are here. Apple confirmed all the details about them, but now the question is, considering that there's a Pro version and a non-Pro version, which iPhone should you be buying this year? I would argue that I think for most people, the iPhone 11 is probably the best option, and the price year over year actually went down $50, at least here in the US. So I want to give you guys all the details about the new phones and help you decide which new iPhone to buy in 2019. If you're excited, drop a like down below, hit subscribe for more so you don't miss out on any new iPhone 11 news. Let's go ahead and get started. So this year, for the first time ever on the new iPhones, Apple's got a new naming scheme. It's not just iPhone 11 and then iPhone 11 Max and then like an iPhone 11R. It's iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro, and then they also have the larger Pro Max if you want that bigger 6.5-inch OLED screen. But there's a big difference here because Apple is clearly targeting the Pro model for people that want their iPhone to just be insane in pretty much every way. Not that the Pro is even that much better, which is what I sort of want to show you in this video, just the fact that there are extra bells and whistles that Apple wants you to pay a minimum of $300 extra to use. So price-wise, iPhone 11 starts at $699 and the iPhone 11 Pro starts at $999, with the Pro Max beginning at $1,099. So similar pricing to last year, but the lower end iPhone of the trio is actually $50 cheaper, and that's a really good thing. I'm very shocked to see that. That's a big deal. For the design of the new iPhones this year, the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro really aren't that different, but there is one key difference. While the iPhone 11 has a glossy back, very similar to pretty much every iPhone we've seen since the iPhone 8, the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max have a new matte finish. It's pretty cool looking, so if you like, again, that Pro feel, that little premium feature, it's gonna probably feel better in your hand. But they are both machined from a single piece of glass on the back. I don't even want to know how much repairs on this is going to be if it's one single piece of glass that Apple's going to have to repair, but they both come out of that, so they're going to look really cool. And that's because the new camera system sort of sits in the very top left-hand corner of the phones underneath this single piece of glass. And this leads us directly into the next major design change across both of these phones. The cheaper phone, the one that costs $700, has two cameras on the back, up from one last year. The more expensive iPhone starts at $999. That's up to 3 cameras from 2 last year. So they're essentially getting each an additional camera this year. But really, and this is what I want to highlight in the video, there's not that much of a difference when you're shooting photos or videos between the two cameras. Yes, so on the iPhone 11 Pro, you do get 3 lenses. One is the standard iPhone camera that we've had forever. Your standard angle, going to be the best for shooting in most situations. You also get a telephoto lens that is 2x zoom, going to be really good for use with portrait mode. It will allow you to stand in the same place and zoom in 2x without really losing quality because it's optical versus digital zooming. You also now, this year for the first time ever, get a super ultra wide angle lens that is very impressive, zooming all the way out to 0.5x, and what we've seen so far from these marketing images, it seems to be pretty cool. You go to the iPhone 11, you just get the standard angle and the ultra wide angle, but arguably, I think that those are the two lenses that will allow you to shoot with the most versatility. So yes, if you want to pay extra $300, you do get a third camera lens, but when you actually look at the specs themselves, what can you do with these cameras? What kind of photos and videos can you shoot? You guys are going to notice really quickly that there really isn't a difference. In fact, they're the exact same iPhone camera modules, except again, the Pro has a bit more functionality because it does have a third one. Overall though, if you're somebody who goes out and takes photos with your iPhone, I don't know if an extra $300 is going to be worth that additional camera lens. On all the new iPhones this year, you're getting 100% focus pixels on the standard angle lens and up to 3 times faster autofocus in low light. And I actually want to talk about low light. Historically, the iPhone has not been that good in low light situations, and Apple aims to change that this year. I mean, the comparisons that they're using are obviously going to be the most dramatic, but objectively, it seems like we finally have a functional, really great low light camera solution. Again, not just on the Pro, this is also coming to anybody who buys the regular iPhone 11. As I mentioned before, the camera systems and their functionality nearly identical across both models. Smart HDR, a feature that came out on the iPhone XS and XR last year, is also even better this year. Apple claims it's more improved when it comes to recognizing faces and distinguishing people from their backgrounds. Basically what this does is takes a ton of photos at different exposures and then combines them all together to one finalized image to give you something where generally, if you were shooting on like a normal camera, the background would be super blown out to get detail on the face or vice versa. Apple's able to give you the detail on the face and the background and everywhere else in the shot in one single image. Now, I haven't even mentioned megapixels just yet because I think the photos speak for themselves, but all of them on the back are 12 megapixels yet again. Apple, however, has upgraded the 8 megapixel front FaceTime HD camera from 8 to 12 megapixels. So every single camera on all these iPhones equilaterally, I don't even know if that's the right term, but they're all 12 megapixels. And with the improvements to the front-facing camera, Apple, for the first time ever, is letting you shoot slow-mo video. In fact, this is almost as cool as NordVPN, who sponsored today's Apple event coverage. So NordVPN is a service that I am using more and more because my apartment Wi-Fi is watched and metered by a third-party company, and my school Wi-Fi is watched and metered, and sometimes I just want to go online without having other people digging into my business. That's why I use NordVPN. That's why I continue using them, and they are genuinely the best VPN that I've found out there. For a long time, I just kept using free VPNs, and then my data would get metered, and I didn't exactly know where my data was going. Like, there's a reason it's usually free. It's because that data is going to somewhere else. With NordVPN, you're getting access to 5,500 servers around the world. So no matter where you are, you have really good coverage, and there's unlimited bandwidth, so they're never just gonna cut your internet off and say, well, that's all for you this month, buddy. So I've been using it for a long time. I think you guys are gonna love it as well. And right now there's a really good deal going on for only $2.99 a month using my code down below and link nordvpn.com/iupdate. You're getting the 3 years plan, plus they're throwing in a bonus month on top of everything else just for you guys. So don't waste any more time and get started with a safer and more secure internet right now. Again, going over these camera bumps is a single piece of glass. And I mentioned that the Pro models have the more matte finish. The non-Pro models are just the standard high gloss iPhones that we've come to know and love. There is some benefit to both new models this year. So whether it is matte or glossy, you get strengthened glass. Now, Apple showed some teaser videos hinting that you could drop these and they would not break as easily. Obviously, Apple's not put any numbers to this because then people like me would go out and try it and say, well, it said twice as likely to break, but both my XS and 11 broke at the same time, because there's so many different variables that come into fall scenarios when you drop this iPhone. So they are stronger. If you guys buy either of these new models, there's a better chance for you and me that it's not gonna break on us. After cameras, these phones are also similar in another major way, which I think is a core part of the iPhone experience. That is the processor on the inside. The CPU, the GPU, the neural engine performance is identical on both the 11 and the 11 Pro. You are getting much improved performance from the A12. At this point, it's a laughingstock to look at the competitors. It is, it's just not even close to the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus or anything else out there. It is so much faster to be in the same category, and nobody really has come close. Finishing off this list of similarities, both the new iPhones get Dolby Atmos. Both the new iPhones this year get spatial audio. Apple says it creates a more immersive theater-like surround sound experience. They do support faster charging each, although the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max do get a fast charger in the box. It's not an additional charge, like you only get the slow 5 watt with the standard iPhone 11. They support wireless charging because they are made of glass. Wi-Fi 6, so 802.11ax, the fastest new Wi-Fi standard that you probably haven't even heard of yet, that is built into this year's iPhone. Bluetooth 5.0 across the board, and up to 30 LTE bands. So Apple actually says that with the new chip inside of both of these phones and the additional LTE bands, for something like AirDrop, you could just point your iPhone in the direction of someone and the iPhone, or like the person you're trying to share to, will pop up quicker or more efficiently because of the new technology with the new U1 chip inside of both of these iPhones. So those are the similarities. Now I want to start getting into some of the bigger differences. That starts with battery life, where the iPhone 11 gets only 1 additional hour over the iPhone XR. The things that Apple's been able to do with the Pro models are pretty mind-blowing because we've never seen this much of a jump in battery life in the history of the iPhone. iPhone 11 Pro gets an additional 4 hours of additional battery over the iPhone XS. And it's even more exaggerated with the iPhone 11 Pro. You're getting 5 hours on top of what you already got on the iPhone XS Max last year. So battery life, the first really big difference between the 11 and the 11 Pro. I want to continue down the list, and I wanted to show you a lot of the similarities first before showing you the differences, just to show you really how similar these two phones are. Display is a huge differentiator between these two models, not only by size. The LCD model, the iPhone 11, comes in at 6.1 inches, where the iPhone 11 Pro models and the Pro Max, those come in at 5.8 and 6.5 inches respectively. The Pro models have OLED, deep blacks, higher contrast ratio, HDR. The colors on that look incredible, where the LCD screen on the iPhone 11 is 6.1 inches, so it's actually in between those two screen sizes, but the colors, lack of HDR, I don't think the viewing angles were as good last year on the XR as the XS. Like, there's just a lot of sacrifices, and for somebody who looks at my phone all the time, for me, the better screen is a big part of the reason that I'm choosing to go with the Pro, along with the fact that I just use my phone a lot. The screen on the Pro models also gets a bit brighter than the iPhone 11. I think it's about 625 nits of brightness on the iPhone 11, but you can go all the way up to 800 in direct sunlight on the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. So outside viewing, something else to consider here. Another difference is with water and dust resistance. Apple claims that on the iPhone 11, you can get up to 2 meters of water resistance for up to 30 minutes. But on the iPhone 11 Pro models, both the Pro and the Pro Max, you're getting up to 4 meters of rated coverage for up to 30 minutes. You could drop your iPhone down twice as far, and Apple says it will be totally fine to a greater extent than you could drop your iPhone 11. So if you swim, if you dive, if you're doing risky stuff all the time involving water, it may actually be worth it, just because water is less likely to get into your $1,000 iPhone than your $700 iPhone. For authentication when logging into these phones, Apple doesn't say much about Face ID at all on the iPhone 11 side, but looking at the iPhone Pro site, they say it's 30% faster and it works at additional angles. We've heard so dramatic that it could actually work if it was laying flat on a table. It could scan your face just like this, but there's no concrete video demo of that just yet. I'm gonna be putting that to the test myself when I get the iPhone 11 Pro. Now, it could also be here on the iPhone 11, but Apple hasn't made that super clear. So for now, I would say the new Face ID, faster unlock, and additional viewing angles, that seems to be exclusive to the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. So we're pretty much at the end of the list here. And as you can see, there is so much similarity between these iPhones this year, just like there was last year. The biggest differences between the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro are the quality of the display, the frosting on the back, the size of the batteries, and the additional third camera on the iPhone 11 Pro. The processors, iOS 13 is obviously the same. When these phones come out, they both come out on September 20th. And of course, most notably, the price. The iPhone 11 again starts at $699 here in the US, the iPhone 11 Pro at $999, the Pro Max at $1,099. I think that for most people, you're gonna be way more than happy with the iPhone 11. I don't think a lot of you should probably be buying the iPhone 11 Pro unless you're somebody who genuinely wants the very best. Apple made the Pro for people that do a lot of creative work or a lot of business work, or people that need the best battery life, or gonna be shooting the most photos. These are for users on this end of the spectrum. I think most Apple users fall really around here in the middle. They like to shoot photos, they want a fast phone, they want good battery life, and you're getting all of that, every single bit of what the average iPhone user would want or need in the iPhone 11 plus some. You're getting that second camera lens. You are getting really good battery life already. You are getting the fastest processor in an iPhone. I just don't understand why Apple made these phones so similar, because I don't think a lot of people are going to have an incentive to spend an extra $300 to go up to the iPhone 11 Pro series. Those are my thoughts on Apple's new iPhones. Let me know which ones you guys are getting down below. iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro, which one is better for you? I've been Sam with more coverage coming later today on Apple's event. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Hit subscribe for more. I've been Sam, and I'll talk to you all in my next video. Also, check out NordVPN. See you guys later.